Good evening, guys. How are we all doing? So Dan from Trading with Dan here. This is our Bitcoin evening wrap. So if you guys wouldn't mind smashing that like button, and we will go straight over to those Bitcoin charts. So so Bitcoin on the 4 hour. So we did consolidate this morning as we were looking at underneath this this horizontal resistance, the baseline, the bottom line, obviously the level we broke down from. We actually did have a textbook Bitcoin liquidity hunt upwards, which it was looking like we were going to do this morning. I was saying we're looking like we were under this level, looking good. And yeah, that pretty much was the candle we did the video on this morning. It did extend all the way up basically to, well, roughly the actual midpoint that we've drawn in, basically to the midpoint, and then space pretty much fully rejected from that point, all the way back down to sub 15k, and then we bounced back up, and we are now found ourselves back at the bottom of the same level of resistance that we were at this morning. So what a round trip it has been. A round trip to basically end up in exactly the same place, a break back above, a slam all the way back down, and then a rally all the way back to where we began. So you can see Bitcoin is basically battling with these levels. You can clearly see the higher lows we've got forming, the trend line we've got forming. Is it to be the case that we are going to form some sorts of ascending triangle in the area that we're in? That could may well be. This trend line may be significant, so we will leave it in. Leave it in now until obviously it proves itself no longer of significance. But yeah, we've got two nice touches at it so far, and yeah, I mean this could look to be a larger. Just a larger time frame formation that we are potentially forming, that will then give us, pretty much this would probably give us pretty much a projected target of roughly around the actual top of the box here, top of our larger range that we are kind of looking at. This basically 14 to 17.5k. I know I've been calling it 14 to 18k, but I'll just call it 14 to 17.5k from now on. But you guys know what range I'm talking about. But yeah, is this what is going to give us the break up to come and test the top, and then yeah, potentially get a rejection there, trade around in this area for a bit, and then well, you guys know my view. I don't necessarily think we're going to break above here, go to 20k and beyond. I think we will then, probably at some point, if it coincides with large traditional markets, dollar moves or stock market moves, I think we could potentially then fall back into this range, trade out this range, and yeah, just bounce our way around this larger range, between obviously spending time in the upper half and the lower half. That is honestly what I think is the name of the game for the rest of the year. But I mean, we'll see what happens. If obviously that dollar gets down to the 88s, we will be clear above this level. So yeah, we'll just have to keep an eye on that. But yeah, as it stands at the moment, it does seem that Bitcoin is trying its best to break into this top half. So literally the 16 to the 17.5k range. What a range. What a place for Bitcoin to be as well. Just on a separate note. So let's have a look at that dollar. The dollar has had a nice little bounce today. I mean, I pretty much said this as well. I said, look, we've come all the way down here. We're at support. Things don't move down in a straight line. Expect some sort of a bounce from here. And then we kind of looked at these levels. We literally did look at this level and even up to this level as potential targets for the bounce. We also looked at this trend line as a potential target for the bounce, which is, basically where we've wicked above. We poked above, come back down, and are looking to test again. So again, I did say I think this horizontal and this trend line is a nice level for the dollar, for the DXY to retrace back to, and thus far. That is basically what's happened. So obviously, if we break that, then things will look more bullish. So it would look like potentially the dollar index could then start to make a move up. But obviously, we won't look fully bullish, obviously, until we take out these highs, because obviously we've got a high, and then obviously low, lower, low, and lower, low. So we'd have to take out this high to start to look really bullish. But because we could get rejections at any of these levels and then turn back down. are still going to basically look like a high, a lower high, and then a lower high. But yeah, first and foremost though, we've got to break this trend line, and if we get rejected at this trend line, which there's a good chance we do, there is a good chance we do, then yeah, I mean, you would expect us to have a good go then at taking out this low and then literally dropping into this range. Stock markets as well. Yeah, I mean, it's not necessarily wanting to say I told you so again, because it's not an I told you so. But yeah, I mean, the futures were bid up, and I said realistically we've got to wait to see till the cash markets open, because then people are going to like think, right, we'll take some profits here, which is literally seems to be exactly what's happened today. As soon as obviously the market's opened, then profit taking ensued, and that's pretty much what I was expecting after the futures opening up so high. Obviously you're gonna wake up, see those positions that much in the green, and be like, right, let's take some profits. So yeah, that's what's happened in the S&P. Nasdaq though didn't have as great a move to the upside, which is obviously understandable. Also, I just would like to point out the fact this is a 4-hour 9. And this is the 4-hour 9 pretty much at the low also. And this was a 4-hour 9 as well before it then turned down. So yeah, just wanted to point those 4-hour 9s out. But obviously tech stocks. Tech, which has been a massive beneficiary of lockdowns. Amazon, Zoom, whatever, and all those sorts of things have all benefited massively from lockdowns, whilst lots of other things have struggled. So obviously you'd expect vaccine news is gonna not be the most bullish thing for tech stocks, put it that way, not be the most bullish thing. And I think if we do look at say Zoom for example, I don't think it had the greatest day as you can see, opening down, well, basically closing down about, well, it did actually pretty much open down about 20%. So that is obviously what is going over there in the good old Nas coin. Ethereum USD first we'll look at. This does look to be bull pennanting it out. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to draw it just because it's going to look a bit of a mess with this trend line. But yeah, bull pennanting it out. Yeah, so is this going to then break to the upside? Potentially. We will actually draw the top, actually. We can draw the top, no problem there. We'll draw the top on. So yeah, breaking above there could potentially signal a move up. And it would be, based on the flagpole, it would be a potentially pretty juicy move up in the old Ethereum, up into around the 550s. 550 of no, it's a bit lower than 550. I'll just move it down a little bit in a sec. Here we go. Yeah, potentially up, yeah, to about 540. So is that what we're looking for in Ethereum? Let's have a look at the actual the important chart. The important chart for us is the Ethereum Satoshi pairing. And yeah, I mean, this is looking like a bull flag also, guys. So whilst it does obviously look like a bull flag, we are clearly in a bigger downtrend. Well, not even at resistance. Well, we're at horizontal resistance now. We've dipped back below it, but yeah, not even made this trend line resistance. So it's not this is not the picture of an asset that you're gonna think, right, this is a buy. It is the picture of an asset that looks like it could be deciding if it does want to break up and start to try and go bullish, in much the same way we're looking at the DXY, thinking, does that look like it wants to start to go bullish at the level it's at? This looks the same. Does it want to start to go bullish at the level it's at? But if it does fail, gets rejected here, it does look perfectly normal for just a new local high. And yeah, and then obviously downside, I would like to point out the 4-hour 9 there as well. Just I know, just for the sake of it. But yeah, BTC.D also, yeah, you can see this is still drifting back upwards. This, like I've been saying, this also is not in a confirmed downtrend yet either. But it could start to look like one if it does break below this level, and especially break below this level. It will start to look like it has the makings of basically an altcoin a potentially massive altcoin season, in all fairness, because what you've got to remember is that Bitcoin itself is at a lot higher number, a lot higher dollar value, and if this just come all the way down to these lows down here, that is an absolutely fantastically large move. And that would obviously mean an actual dollar valuation of the altcoin market cap being a lot higher based on the actual Bitcoin dollar, well, market cap being a lot higher due to Bitcoin's higher value. You guys know what I'm saying. Basically, I'm saying this is a lot of USD value into alts. If we come down here with Bitcoin anywhere around the level it's at, so yeah, we could be on the verge of that. Let's have a look at gold and silver. Obviously, nothing's obvious, but silver has been hit. Because markets are obviously looking at like a bit of a risk off scenario, a risk on scenario, and obviously precious metals are going to suffer under that scenario. So yeah, a bit of a pullback in silver, but eventually are the printing, the money printing, the inflationary drivers, are those things gonna have a say? Gold also, guys, had a little bit of a move down as well, in case you didn't notice. But again, like I said, this is a stock market. We are looking at almost a return to normal in markets, potentially. I mean, we did used to have in the olden days, guys. I don't know if you guys remember a few months ago. Well, a bit more than a few months ago, before a lot of this craziness was happening, pre-March, what would happen is stock markets would go up, gold would go down. Stock markets would go down, gold would go up, and there'll be an inverse correlation between risk on and risk off assets. And obviously, gold is a risk off asset. So when it's getting driven by risk off and stock markets are getting driven up by risk on, then yeah, this pulls back down. Obviously, stocks and gold can go up at the same time when we're getting loads of money printing and loads of basically asset price inflation due to money printing. Yes, and that is a dynamic we have obviously been used to for a number of months now. But don't forget the normal, more healthy scenario is dollar is gold down and stock markets up, and I mean that relationship was clearly in play today. Gold silver ratio, I mean you can clearly see the gold silver ratio on the 4 hour. Obviously had a bit of a down day. You could probably tell by just the size of the candle down in gold compared to in silver. It wasn't quite as much, so obviously hence the gold silver ratio was going down. So yeah, over to Bitcoin then. We'll have a quick look through the stochastics. Are we looking like we are going to get that move to the upside into this upper side? That is for me. That is just the name of that. This simplifies Bitcoin trading for me at the moment. Is are we going to break into this range and then we'll just trade in this range, or are we going to fail at this top and then come back down towards 14k? That's realistically the two scenarios that are in play at the moment that I'm looking for at the stochastics to try and give me a hand with, predicting which one. And yeah, 4 hour pointing down. Yawning. 10 hours starting to turn back up. 12 hours turn back down as well. So 4 hour down, we've got 12 hour down. Daily looking weak as well. 3 day turning out. No, I say it's not looking weak, but it's looking like it actually wants to make a move to the downside. 2 day rolling over a bit, also 3 day. And then yeah, 5 days kinked a little bit, as you can see. And then obviously anything higher than that is going to look good. But this is kind of telling me, guys, I'm kind of looking at this. I'm thinking, are we going to come and test this zone? This is kind of telling me that purely based on the stochastic read alone and just the levels we're at, this to me looks like we're going to test 14k. But like I said, if dollar keeps coming down, and stock markets keep going up, then you would expect this to actually bust through and go up regardless. But at the moment, this stochastic read is kind of looking to me like we got rejected. We tried to make our way back up, but actually got rejected at a slightly lower high. Have got managed to cut at a higher low, so we are in a penanting tightening formation. But I am leaning on the side that this trend line is going to break and we're going to come down. But like I've said, if the stock markets recover back up from that move down today, and if the dollar moves back down, then I don't believe we will get a breakdown in here. It would have to be more like the more likely scenario, the ascending triangle will play out. So again, I mean, I know that some of you guys might think, well, it's a cop out. You're saying if this happens, then that. If this, then that. But that's, I mean, what else can you do? These markets are interrelated. If you're going to trade the Bitcoin market and think that this is the market that trades independently, then, I mean, for a small fraction of time you may be right, but for the majority of the time you're not necessarily going to be in it. All you just have to look at is what happened in March with the dumps and everything, and Bitcoin obviously got hammered harder than everything else. So yeah, so obviously you guys know that to be the case. So yeah, that is it, guys. So remember, this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. I think as of tomorrow, I'm going to start doing a separate video with some proper high risk Uniswap crazy altcoins that we're just looking for massive moves in, and we're just gonna click through a few of them, looking for like potential good entries, and just showing you some of the moves that we're making in that I'm making. Not we, there's no we, but I'm doing in those. Yeah, I might start a little video series on that. Some of the random new little coins as they pop up, as I see them, we'll look at them, look for potential entries, look at what we want to do in them. And yeah, because it's kind of a whole different strategy in those. They have big massive moves up and big massive dumps down, so you kind of just got to be smart how you play with them. Try and pull them, buy them when they're obviously on a pullback after a big spike up, and then try and get out on some massive spikes to the upside. So yeah, we are gonna start some videos, and we're looking through some of the coins that I'm looking at. So yeah, thanks for listening, guys. Again, remember, this is not a financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. Always do your own research, and yeah, I'll speak to you guys in the morning.